It's been 4 days since the sudden and tragic death of reality TV star Shefali Jariwala. The mystery certainly has deepened. The initial autopsy conducted at R.N. Cooper Hospital did not provide a clear cause of death. The doctors have reserved their opinion pending further forensic analysis. Investigators found various medications and supplements at her residence, including anti-aging pills and skin glow tablets. These are now under scrutiny as potential factors in her death. Shefali was reportedly suffering also from some kind of neurological disorder and has been on medication for that as well. Preliminary findings suggest she may have suffered a cardiac arrest, but this is also not confirmed. So after 4 days, the questions that need answers. First, what did the toxicology report reveal? These reports are crucial in determining whether any substance in a system actually contributed to her death. Second question, were the supplements she was taking safe? The investigation needs to establish if the anti-aging pills and other supplements had any adverse effect on her health. The third question, could her fasting have played a role considering she collapsed after breaking a fast? It's important to understand if her dietary practices had any impact on her health. Fourth question, what was the exact sequence of events on the day of her death? A detailed timeline could help perhaps piece together the circumstances leading to her untimely demise. The fifth question that we ask on the show tonight, are there any underlying health conditions that were overlooked? Perhaps a thorough review of her medical history might provide insights into any pre-existing conditions that could have contributed to her death. So in conclusion, the mystery surrounding Shefali Jariwala's death continues to deepen. And as we await further details, it's essential to keep asking these crucial questions to uncover the truth. On the show tonight, we have Ravira Bhardwaj, who is an actor. We also have Rashi Mal, who is an actor and musician. Lakshay Narula is TV presenter. Ira Trivedi, yoga acharya and author. Chavi Mittal is an actress and entrepreneur as well. Ira, beginning with you, how do you look at this death? The mystery remains 4 days on, no clarity what caused her death.
First of all, I think that the hospitals, the doctors, they do owe us an answer. There's been a lot of speculation around her death, and I think it would be great to just put all of it to a close. And on a larger level of what this means to society, I think, according to me, it's such a really a mirror on what society is going through today. There is so much pressure on everyone, especially women, particularly young women, to look a certain way, to behave a certain way. And in the quest for that, sometimes extreme measures are taken. And what it looks like prima facie is that there was extreme pressure on this young woman to have to prove something to society, to people, and maybe even to herself. And these extreme measures have led to really an extreme result.
Yes, so but Ravira Bhardwaj, anti-aging pills or skin whitening treatment aren't really extreme if you look at it. There could have been an underlying condition that aggravated the situation here.
Glutathione pills are generally used for kidney and liver things. Its side effects are skin lightening. And a lot of people fail to understand that it brings a load on your livers and kidneys. It's primary for that purpose. And because people discovered the side effect of it, and then it makes you fairer, and people started using it without even knowing what exactly it's used for. And I think skin lightening, as we have a taboo in this country about fair skin means more beautiful. A lot of people resort to that without knowing what they're entering. And when it comes to vitamin pills, overload of vitamins is also not good. Sometimes you are suggested that you should not eat kidneys of animals because it is overloaded with vitamins. It can also cause a lot of harm. So overloading of anything is not good, even under or over. So I personally feel she overloaded on a lot of stuff, and even vitamins in a larger quantity are not good for you.
Okay. Lakshay, your thoughts on this?
Absolutely. I think, first of all, thank you for having me. Honestly, I think that we often see the glitz and the glamour from the outside, but what we don't see, because I'm not a health professional, so but I would like to say, if we actually double click on the points that have been mentioned here, right? But we can say that what we don't see is there are silent pressure that builds up behind the scene. There is a pressure to look a certain way. There is a pressure to maintain a certain weight. There is a pressure to fit into almost an unrealistic image of perfection, what we
Okay.
see. And I think in the recent era, what we've seen is there is a lot of this social media amplifying the entire pressure as well. In the diet culture, there have been unhealthy practices of all that. And I think what needs to be taken care of, that it's important for us, because in the entertainment space, the camera is always rolling now, not like back in the days. Now, even if you're on the set, you're off the set, there's some camera rolling around you. So you want to make sure that you look picture perfect. You have the flawless skin, you have like the zero body fat, you have the glowing energy, even on the days when you're not mentally prepared for it. You're like exhausted, tired, but you want to make sure that, because you don't know where the cameras are, right? So there's a lot of mental pressure. And I think that builds up, to take all these medicine, to portray
I would say, Rashi, that these aren't really silent pressures. These are on your face pressure. Look at what social media has also done, that you're watched all the time, and being an actor who has been around for, and she wasn't really someone who had regular projects. They were coming in intervals, so obviously there was more pressure on her to look in a particular way. Do you think social media is adding more pressure to have that picture perfect, stereotypical appearance categories, or to look in a particular way, which is unrealistic? At 40, 45 or 50, 55, nobody can look what they did. We can't look what we did in our 20s.
Yes, for sure. I think social media has really exacerbated this problem. We live in a filter culture where you don't really see what people truly look like. And, there definitely is pressure. Girls as young as 11, 12 are using anti-aging products, which again, like was already mentioned, is such a mirror to what we go through as women and what we need to look at as a society, because the entire cosmetic industry is hinging on peddling this idea of, anti-aging products to women from a very young age. So you kind of grow up with that, whether or not you're in the industry or not. And then when you're part of the industry, that just gets amplified even further. It's so tragic that something like this has to happen for us to talk about these issues. And we'll talk about it for 2 days and then forget about it again. But I think this is a conversation that really needs to be brought to the forefront on how much of an effect it takes, how much of a toll it takes on people. And whether or not she had regular work, like again, we've kind of become this very voyeuristic culture where cameras are constantly looking, either self-induced or by virtue of media and the expectation of artists to be visible, to be accessible, to share their life. And then, of course, you want to present your best foot forward. And you know what that led to in this particular case. I mean, it's all speculation so far, but if that's what happened, it's really, really tragic.
Okay. There's a lot of speculation. I agree, Chavi. As an actor yourself, there is a tragedy which has struck us. And there are legitimate questions which are being asked. Underlying health condition. Also, did she overlook, the fact that she had those boxes full of medicines, did she take them under doctor's supervision? All these questions which have to be answered, because, perhaps we have to be better prepared to deal with certain situations. Were there some early signs that the body was showing that she could suffer a stroke? All that has to be answered, Chavi.
No, absolutely. I agree with most of the things that people are saying. There's a lot of pressure on actors, not just actors. I think most people, because of social media today, are undergoing tremendous pressure to be at their best at all times. The other thing is that the medication that has been found at her place, now there's speculation that she was self-medicating. without any doctor's supervision. If that is the case, glutathione or vitamin C may be very safe to take, but then again, how much is safe enough? What is the correct way to administer these things, and whether it is safe to take these things while you're fasting? There are too many factors to be considered over here. And I think the most important thing is the constant need for validation, not just on social media, but also around you. What are the kind of people who are around you who are, sort of your advisors? What are the things that people are telling you about you? And what is the internal journey that you yourself are going through in life as a 42-year-old? Is it only an external validation that you're looking for, desiring all the time? Or is it also something, are you also trying to grow in other aspects of life? I mean, I feel that today, because of social media, everybody wants to look the same age. So a 20-year-old is a 40-year-old, is a 60-year-old. They all want to look the same. There is no education about growth in other aspects. It is just growth means aging for everybody. And that is something which needs a lot of awareness and education, I feel. And of course, this is an eye-opener for everybody. And I hope this is not like another person just mentioned, that I hope this is not something which only it's a conversation for 2 days and then forgotten. No, I think it will make a lot of difference if a change can be brought on.
So this conversation must continue, Ravira.
Yes. I feel there's a lot of vanity that is surrounding this industry. Like, you need to be pretty all the time. As everyone said, there's a lot of pressure due to social media in general, cameras rolling around, these pap culture these days. So I feel that this leads to not just women, it's a gender neutral thing now, that even men need to look good, even at, when they're in their 40s or 50s, and they tend to look very lean even in that age. And we have seen those deaths as well. So women definitely have a pressure, and especially post-pregnancy, to bounce back to their own, zero-figure era, because you're an actor. And all these things do pressurize you to maintain yourself in a certain way. But we are forgetting as a generation that we need to age gracefully. And yeah, as others said, girls as young as 11, 12, they are, applying products that are anti-aging. And even women in their mid-20s are using Botox without knowing what exactly Botox is and what it actually does. And just, I think they're following the trend. And I definitely do feel that this is an eye-opener for all the people, not just women, even for men.
Absolutely. So,
don't push yourself.
Yes, I wanted to ask that question about that appearance, irrespective of gender. Actually, that pressure is felt also on male actors. They also undergo Botox.
Absolutely. I think, in the recent times, we've also seen like a lot of male, as, the panel has mentioned, that irrespective of the gender, a lot of actors have taken these medicines to lose weight or whatever it is. Why is that happening? Probably that's happening because there is a constant, panelists mentioned that there is a constant external pressure, and slowly that kind of builds into the internal anxiety as well. You start feeling that low self-worth as well. And I think irrespective of the gender, there are times, back in the days, like, we used to get some breaks between shoots. But now people expect us to be there on Instagram or on the social media apps every single day. And if we don't post, they're like, "Arey, kahan ho bhai? Where are you?" And I think this is something that this whole thing, boils down to, that amplifying pressure, these small pain points, how they amplify the pressure. And, I really want to add that, we need to tell that your body is your home, and don't destroy it to make it to look into someone's when highlight reel or something like that.
When we look at body, we have to also look at one very crucial aspect of this, which is body and mind era, which is about fitness, about ensuring that you have that mental strength along with your physical strength, and that's where your fitness routine comes in. Do you think it gets aggravated because you're fasting, you're on medicines, and you're also working out? You have to unmute yourself, Ira.
Yeah, what happens is that when we take all these medicines, especially for women, their endocrine system gets deeply affected. Those are your hormones. And when that begins to happen, there is a direct impact on how you're feeling, on your moods. So that is why once you start injecting yourself with all of these different chemicals, there is a direct impact on how you're feeling. And you may end up feeling very sad, very depressed. So there's also that very important thing to consider. So when we adopt any exercise routine, in particular yoga, because yoga works on the positive side, it really, really balances your endocrine system. So it really has a direct impact. So it's really important in this age of social media for influencers like me and everyone else out there to prioritize health and wellness, to emphasize the importance of exercise, to emphasize the importance of eating well, because all of those have such a big impact on how you're feeling and how you're doing.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, all these protein
you-
shakes that we keep talking about, does your body actually need that kind of protein is also a question. So, there are a lot of unanswered questions, and we certainly hope that all the viewers will be speaking to perhaps nutritionists, doctors, their trainers before, just starting popping pills. That's certainly, which is not going to help anyone. So Chavi Mittal, Ira Trivedi, Lakshay, Nurula, Rashi Mal, and Ravira Bhardwaj, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us. That's all from me on this edition of The Last Word. Thanks so much for watching.